When you hear the word Bitcoin, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably high-risk investing, right? Or maybe those crazy up and down price swings you see in the news. And look, for a lot of people, that's the entire picture. But what if I told you there's a whole other side to this story, one that has absolutely nothing to do with getting rich quick? Let's take a journey and see what's really going on.
So is this whole thing just a playground for traders, a digital casino for people to bet on numbers going up or down? Well, for millions and millions of people all around the globe, the answer to that is a hard, resounding no. See, for them, Bitcoin isn't about speculation at all. It's a tool, a practical, hands-on tool for solving very real problems. Problems that affect how they save, how they work, how they support their families. In a lot of places, it's not an investment. It's a lifeline.
Okay, first stop on our trip, Latin America. Now here, the reason people are getting into Bitcoin isn't about hyper trends. It's about sheer necessity. Think of it like a financial life raft in the middle of a massive economic storm. And that storm has a name: inflation.
So what even is inflation, in simple terms? Well, it's when the money in your pocket, the money in your bank account, buys you less today than it did yesterday. The price of milk, gas, rent, everything just keeps creeping up, while the power of your money just keeps falling.
Here's a way to really feel it. Imagine your life savings are a giant block of ice. You worked for years to build it up, but now it's sitting out in the sun, and it's just melting, dripping away day by day, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's exactly what high inflation feels like. It's your financial security just vanishing into thin air.
And this is precisely why people are turning to Bitcoin, not to gamble, but to preserve what they have. They're using it to try and protect their savings from that melting effect. It gives them a way to actually plan for the future, to buy things online from other countries, and to just have an alternative when their local money is letting them down. All right, next up, we're hopping over to Africa, where we find another incredibly powerful use case. This time, it's all about crossing borders. Here, Bitcoin is becoming a kind of borderless money, connecting families and businesses in a way that just wasn't possible before.
Now, the key word to understand here is remittances. It's a simple idea. It's the money that people working abroad send back home to support their families. For millions, this is the money that pays for food, school fees, and medicine. It's a critical lifeline, but, the traditional way of sending it is deeply flawed.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. The old way is slow. We're talking days, it's expensive, with middlemen taking a huge cut. The Bitcoin way? It's like a direct flight instead of a 10-stop bus ride. It's fast, minutes, not days. The fees are tiny, and it goes straight from one person to another.
So how does it really work? It's actually pretty straightforward. A person working in, say, Europe converts a bit of their pay into Bitcoin. Then they send that Bitcoin over the internet directly to their family's digital wallet back home, which happens almost instantly. Their family gets it, and they can convert it right back into their own local currency. The result? More of their hard-earned money actually makes it home. It's a game changer.
And for our final stop, we're heading to Asia. And this is where the story gets really layered, because there is no single narrative here. Instead, what we find is this incredible mix of uses that's just as diverse as the continent itself. The most important thing to get is that you can't paint Asia with a single brush. I mean, from the super high-tech economies in East Asia to the rapidly developing nations in Southeast Asia, the needs, the rules, the cultures are all completely different, and so is the way they're using Bitcoin. And you can really see that diversity in the breakdown. Yeah, sure, investing and trading is a big piece of the pie, kind of like what we see in the West. But look closer. A huge chunk, almost a third, is for everyday commerce, buying and selling things. And another big slice is about giving people access to financial tools, sometimes for the very first time in their lives. So let's break that down. In a place like South Korea, it's often seen as a popular high-tech investment. But then you go to a country like the Philippines, and you might find small street vendors accepting it for payments. For someone in a remote village, it might be their first ever way to connect to the global economy. And of course, businesses are using it to settle payments with international partners way faster. It's like a Swiss Army knife. So, after this whole trip, what's the big takeaway? It's that behind this one single technology, there isn't just one story. There are thousands, millions of stories, each one shaped by the real-world needs of the people using it. This right here sums it all up perfectly. In Latin America, Bitcoin's main job is to be a shield, protecting people from inflation. In Africa, its main job is to be a bridge, connecting families by slashing the cost of sending money home.
And in Asia, well, its main job is to be a multi-tool, used for everything from investing to buying lunch. Same coin, totally different jobs.
And that really is the heart of the matter. When you strip everything else away, this isn't a story about code or computers. It's a story about human ingenuity. It's about people all over the world taking a new tool and figuring out how to use it to solve their most urgent, pressing problems.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final fascinating question. If people are already using it as a life raft, a bridge, and a multi-tool, what problems are they going to solve with it next?